So let's kick right off. Jack, when you joined eXp, success looked very different from what it does today. Could you let us know what your situation was like at that time?
Hey folks, yeah, so it's changed quite a bit. I was with a different brokerage and it didn't go terribly well. So I had another crack with eXp, but it involved getting a job in a shop part-time. So my initial goal of success was essentially go back to being a full-time estate agent. And it took a lot longer than I expected, but it felt pretty amazing once I was doing that.
And when you finally got back into being a full-time estate agent, Jack, did that feel like you'd made it? That was it?
Yeah, it was great. I was busy, making a lot more money, but then my wife reminded me that I wasn't home a huge amount, and we just had a baby, and the big reason for me going self-employed was so that I could work my own hours and be around a lot more for her and Charlie when he was born. So we made the decision that I would dial things back quite a bit. I would essentially deal with what came in, but not go chasing a lot more business.
And how did that conversation go? How did she kind of approach that with you, Jack?
We love radical candor, and she kind of just hit me with it. And at first, I'll be honest, I was a bit like, damn, I was like, this is everything that I wanted, like to be really busy. And then over the next couple of weeks, it just kind of sat with me, and I was like, when am I ever going to get the chance, the opportunity to be back and have a year, like the first year of my child's life, where I can be around a lot more and to give her a lot of support? And it just wouldn't have been an option if I wasn't doing this. So for us, it was definitely the right thing to do.
So how did you find that when most of the estate agents, when they get busy, push harder and harder and harder, but you had to reverse that and take your foot off the gas? How did that feel?
At first, weird, and then great not to have to do a huge amount. I had a fairly strong pipeline, and if most of that went through, I was going to be fine for the year. But since then, things have changed, and now, we want to grow the family further. We want to buy a house. We want a garden for Charlie, and so now we need more money again. So now that he's at nursery, we're ramping things up again. And there was a concern there about how that might look, ramping things up, but 3-4 months into that, and I'm really excited again. It's go time again.
Good. And how important was that first year you spent with Amy and Charlie?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was.
Great.
It was something that I didn't expect. You wouldn't be able to do in a normal job. I was around a huge amount.
So I take it that wouldn't have been possible within a traditional estate agency model.
Definitely not. I mean, Amy didn't know me when I was like a high street estate agent, and we all know the hours are bloody awful. I had a job in prop tech, which was an amazing job, actually. The hours were good, the people were good, the money was fab, but I was just unfulfilled.
Yep.
So it meant, I left from the outside what would be a cushy life to go and take on a more challenging one, but
Yep.
I much prefer it like this.
Great. And so you deliberately turned the dial down, and now you're starting to ramp it back up again. How important is it to you that you're within an organization where that's something that you can do quite easily?
It's everything, right? I mean, you have to remember, it is your business. We partner with eXp, but I design what my life looks like. And, we had Austin on before, and he said, what does your diary look like for October? And mine has gym and or Charlie in the mornings, and then it has bed. And then there's a few things in there, like a catch up with my sales progressor, but I try to design my life rather than letting the business run around me. And if you'd have asked me years ago, what do you want? It would have been make loads of money and buy a Lamborghini. Now I just want to have more time. And family is genuinely the most important thing, particularly since we've had a child. Like seeing grandparents is ever more important as well.
100%. Thank you, Jack. Thanks for that. Fiona, I'm going to come to you now.
Hi. Hello.
When you joined eXp, were you actually looking to build a big business, or were you just simply looking for a better way of life?
For me, it was a better way of life. I had come from a previous broker that wasn't great, and discovered that Ross was starting to join eXp. So I thought, I'll have a chat with him, see what's it all about. And yeah, it has it's definitely been a bumpy ride, but 3 years in, I can now honestly say it's been worth all the hard work. It's been great. I'm now recognised, my branding's recognised, and bearing in mind I'm in Scotland and it's a small part of Scotland that I'm in, which is southwest Scotland, Dumfries and Galloway. So there's not, the population is about 146,000, but it covers a massive area. So to try and cover that area is quite difficult, but I think what I've learned is just to keep it a smaller area as well.
And that, when the early struggle, Fiona, and it was a struggle at the start, there'll be people in this room that are just still trying to get established. Honestly, that first 12 to 18 months, how was that?
Horrendous. And I think we probably have, each and every person sitting here has probably got a story to tell about that. And I think we just keep going. And I think it's been said time and time again on this stage whereby we just want to give up. But there's always these little things. Somebody maybe, you'd pick up the phone and say, fantastic, thank you, you really helped me. I was in a really bad place, but excuse me, you were there, you really, really helped me. You think, all right, okay, that was okay. And then you maybe get an email, and I think it's just keeping going, keeping consistent, and making sure that you talking as well. And I think that was very evident earlier on. Keep talking to everybody. We're all here. And I think sometimes we're bad not to talk.
Yeah.
We forget that there is a big area, lots of people out there. And I think, keep talking to one another.
Was there ever times, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway, was there ever times you thought, I'm going to give up and this isn't going to work for me?
Oh, yes. You've had several phone calls.
Yes, I can attest to that.
And I was like, that's it, Ross, I'm giving it up. And I'm probably of an age now where I'm coming to the end of my working life. And I thought, I don't need this. I really don't need this. Don't need the hassle. And we're probably all the same. And it's just, sometimes you just think, no. But as I say, there's always something that'll just happen. Somebody will say something, and then you think, right, wait a minute here. No, I've still got the buzz. I still want to do this.
Good. Now, Fiona's one of these people who has listened to lots of people and tried various techniques to grow a business. And Fiona's one of the people I think are the real heroes within eXp. And there'll be many, many in this room. We're just unsung heroes. They get up every day, they show up every day, and they do their stuff. And after all the struggle you went through and the conversations we had about quitting, she capped last year, just this year, wasn't it? You just capped this year, which, well done, Fiona. Which gives you enormous pleasure when you know the journey these people have been on and the struggles they've faced. So, well done to you, Fiona. What advice would you give someone who finds themselves in that position where, they're just not quite there yet?
I think it's look at everything. Just look at absolutely everything. I actually went down the route of paid marketing. It was expensive, but for me it worked and it got my name out there, and that was the most important thing for me. It wasn't building sort of a huge business. It was getting my name out there, getting recognised, getting that. So the phone calls would come in automatically, and it just really pushed it forward. Don't give up. If you really are committed, do not give up. And talk to people. Talk to everyone. People that you maybe don't know, pick up the phone to them. Do talk. But there's a lot of help out there. But for me, it definitely was the marketing side of things whereby it got my name out there, definitely.
Well done. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Fair. Clare, so it's fair to say you've experienced some challenges in life health-wise that probably makes business problems small by comparison.
Yeah,
How has that changed your view of success?
So the challenges you're talking about, the health challenges. So anybody that doesn't know, and I know I've talked about it many times, I have a benign brain tumour, most of which was removed. So Davina and I have something in common. So maybe I'll chat with her about that later. So from 2020, I was left with some serious health issues. And I was in a self-employed position, but I wasn't happy. eXp offered me something that I could do, and I could operate it the way that it worked for me in my life, the way that it has become, because it has changed considerably.
After everything that you've been through, what kind of matters to you now success-wise? How do you kind of
So what
quantify
matters to me is keeping as healthy as I possibly can
Yeah.
now. So, and I put a lot of time and effort into that. And again, eXp allows me to do that, so that by the time I'm 80, I'm still well. Hopefully, I'm still here, but yeah, I'll be mobile. I don't think I'll be selling houses, but the business is very important to me as well.
Yep.
And women in estate agency
Yep.
as a movement is very important to me now. Again, eXp allows me to follow that too, to put effort into that, which is great.
So you still have the lettings side of the business
Sorry?
You still have a lettings.
I still have a lettings business, so I do lettings and sales. And I came, actually, I was just having this conversation at lunch. I came more of a lettings agent that did sales, but I now do about 50-50.
But you're very heavy on the recruitment side as well.
Yeah, so I do put time and effort into attraction, Ross, attraction rather than recruitment. And I genuinely feel we have a duty to tell people what is possible. They don't have to do it,
Yep.
but we have a duty to tell people, because it has changed so many lives. I mean, the four of us sitting here, but loads of people in the room today, it genuinely changed their lives and their families' lives.
And how does that make you feel when you bump into people in the audience that you have brought into eXp and you see them doing great success?
That is the best feeling. Seeing them grow in eXp is just the best feeling. You know, there's some of them are out there today, and they're cap, and you know, some of them will icon as well. It's just the best feeling.
Better than transaction numbers and gross commission?
Yeah, because they're just numbers, aren't they? But yeah, but seeing other people flourish, and you know, the latest agent to join me, she's only 27. She is literally a mile or two away from me. She will fly. She's, you know, but she's going to be working for another 20, 30 years, and so that's my legacy, isn't it?
Yeah. Very good. And if you don't mind me asking, Claire, what advice would you give to perhaps agents or maybe a certain vintage, a little bit older, who think they're too old to change, or they wouldn't want to get, you know, I've left it too late, or?
No, you're not. I mean, because you've got that life experience, you've got the business experience. I think what a lot of people, and potentially it's more women than men, lack the confidence and they doubt themselves. But they can definitely do it, to bring all that experience with them, and then they can share that with younger agents coming on as well.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to, you know, someone who's maybe sat at the moment and think, well, I'm just a little bit reluctant. Have I got enough time to make this work? You think that you should just make the leap and grab it?
You've got to do it, haven't you? I mean, that's the thing. And most people's concern when they're leaving an employed role to go over to a self-employed role is, the biggest concern is often financial. But somebody said it on one of the sessions yesterday, if you are considering moving, start ramping up your socials, you know, get your face out into the community. So when you do make that leap, you are already known, you know, people know your face. And I would also advocate for adding lettings to your business as well, even if you're more of a sales agent, because you can get the cash flow going literally in month one if
Yes.
you're doing some tenant find deals.
So if we took away the transaction numbers and the people that you've attracted into eXp, if we looked at that over the next year, what would success look like for you? How would you quantify success?
Well, take away the agents as well.
Yeah.
It's just seeing them fly. I mean, that's the success is growing that group.
Growing that group.
And seeing them succeed, and then helping them introduce others that will succeed as well.
Yeah.
And the model is just insane.
Yeah. Thank you, Claire. Thank you very much. Jack, can I just ask, just before we come on to Liam, how are you measuring success now?
Success now is going to be when we move, I think. That's the next big goal for me.
Yeah, okay.
And it's we all know it's difficult in our industry, right? I try to explain to Amy, it's like, she'll look down the numbers with me and we'll look at the pipeline and she's like, well, we have enough to move. And I'm like, if it all goes through. And then it's like, and I'm like, but I've got all this coming onto the market. And then it's, if it all sells, if it all goes through. So I'm just being ever cautious. And then I'm excited. And then the next big challenge after that will be setting up business where we move to. And that's something I'm really excited about.
Right, okay. And Fiona, what's that going to look like for you? How are you going to measure success going forward? Because you're capped now. Do we?
No, I think we still keep the foot to the pedal, and I think for me, it is actually what Claire says, bringing on more people.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more people coming on, more young agents coming on, and as we've said, that it's eXp has it there. It's the brand is fantastic, but I would like to see, especially in my area because it's a small area, and probably in Scotland as well, to see more actual physical agents as well. Just get it out there.
Yep.
People that this can work, and it works very well.
Thank you, Liam. You've spent 8 years in the army.
Yeah,
8 years in the army.
That's right, yeah.
And have described leaving it as being almost like a bereavement. What did you mean by that? Could you explain to everybody how that kind of felt?
Yeah, so my background, oddly, I was never an estate agent. I've somehow blagged my way into eXp and blagged my way onto the stage.
What's half of the room?
And I'm not joking there. And I think when I first left the army, it was like going through a bereavement, because one day I was with all my mates and we were having the best time ever. And the next day that's gone, it's cut away, and you are just a number on a piece of paper. And I think a lot of estate agents might relate to that in some way, in terms of, especially you guys in here, you've been working in an office, you know what you're doing day in, day out, you're having a little bit of banter, and then you've gone self-employed and you're all on your own. And to me, self-employed agents, if you're thinking about coming over to eXp, the beauty about this is it is a community, and you can reach out to anyone. There's so many WhatsApp groups, and you've got the agents boardroom, you've got reorg, there's so many different groups out there.
So when you left the army, did you have an idea in your mind what success would look like for you, or was this, as you've used the phrase, just kind of winging it there?
I'll be honest, Ross, I still don't think I know what success looks like now.
Right, okay.
If you'd asked me, well, when this came up a couple of weeks ago, I really sat there and I thought, well, what does that mean to me? If you ask me today, it's a very simple answer. It's leaving Popworld at 3 a.m. But in all seriousness, success is defined, I think, in so many different aspects.
Yeah.
We've got winning a valuation, we've got negotiating a really good deal, we've got getting the Google review, passing the keys over. Success isn't one thing,
yeah.
It's everything altogether. And I think you've just got to graft. I really do.
Did you ever imagine that 5 years back, this would look like this now?
No, so this probably the same as yourself, Fiona. Like, I don't know where Ben's sat at the moment, but I can guarantee he's had a few voice notes from me where he's just looked at it and gone, not a chance am I listening to this podcast, put it down, because I've gone through stages where, and a great example is I had a really good relationship with these sellers. They gave me the keys, we had the instruction, and then overnight they went, but we're going to list with the biggest agent in the area. And I remember sitting there just thinking, for fuck's sake, like, I'm egging this house tonight. Like, it's just no need for it. And I sat back, we had a good conversation, they came on with me and walked away with an extra £30,000. So everyone will go through the stages of where will it be. I've been with eXp for 5 years now, still haven't got a clue why I'm sat up here. I really don't. Where will the next 5 years take me? Who knows?
You do a bit about. I was really interested to hear this. That you regularly featured in the press. You host a podcast with some New York realtors, and you've become a real recognised property expert there. Could you? How did all that come about? How does Liam get into that?
Well, in terms of kind of the press releases, I'm an advocate for it. Now, for me, the one tip for you guys to take away is go and open Twitter up and put in journo request, and you will be surprised by how many journalists will put up a request saying, I need to speak to a property consultant, a property expert, an estate agent about this, this, and this. And all you're doing is sending them a message on that feed. But for me, that's worked really well. So in the last month, we've had features in the Telegraph, the Guardian, consistently in the Daily Mail. So if you follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn, I know I bore you with these posts, but I get excited. The beauty about the press releases, it's not just me saying I'm an expert within the estate agency space, which sounds odd saying it out loud actually, but it's the authority that comes from that mention.
Yeah.
So for example, if your name is mentioned in the Daily Mail, but yet you've got your eXp website that says Liam Gretton eXp, Google will read that and go, well, this website's getting hundreds of thousands of clicks a day. It must have authority here, and it feeds back into yourself. And then in terms of a podcast, so earlier on this year, I launched a podcast with realtors out in New York, and it's all about the UK market, the US market, how the businesses are different. And at the moment, so if anyone wants to write off a holiday for their accountant or with their accountant, we're planning an event in New York in October. There's your invite.
Very good. You've built a really, really strong personal brand. How important do you think that's been to your success? We've heard a lot about branding over the last few days. Last day, so.
I think it's everything. I live a very, my lifestyle is no nonsense, unfiltered, be yourself, and people buy into that. That's been probably the biggest lesson I've found from this whole personal estate agency, bespoke estate agency approach. People buy from people. Now, Michelle Kingsbury is on the Wirral, just down the road from me. She will work with clients who don't like me. I will work with clients that don't like her. And that's okay, because we're both different types of agents. And she's building a great business on the Wirral as well, using her own personal brand that way. I just don't think you can go wrong with it. I think the days of sellers and buyers using the brand solely because they sold their house 10 years ago is massively just leaving the door now.
And you've got, I think it's the last time we looked, more than 200 5-star Google reviews and things. How important has that been, and how important is that to you to receive that kind of?
Oh, Ross, I am an absolute slag for a Google review. That was good timing as Adam walked in. Yeah, honestly, an absolute slag for a Google review. And the way I look at it is, who went out to a restaurant last night? Just put your hands up. Where did you go to find that restaurant? Google.
Yep.
And that's the same place that your clients are going to be connecting with you. I'm getting leads now from the likes of ChatGPT. It's great, but that is all fed from Google as well. Go and speak to them. Clients you've spoke to in the past, get them logged, because people will read the reviews and phone up and go, Brenton, that review was great. Can I instruct you?
So what would you find more satisfying? Getting the kind of commission figures coming through, the money's coming through, or those reviews? What gives you the kind of biggest smile?
I mean, everyone likes getting paid, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone likes a steak at the end of the week.
Yeah, 100%. Something that struck when we spoke earlier was you told a story about your daughter, and she was asked, I think there was a project at school when she was asked, she was to write about who inspired her. Could you tell us about that? It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, so my little girl Elizabeth, she's 7 years old, and her school project was they had to create some piece of art. I've not got it anymore, sadly. But it was on famous people from the Wirral. Now, we have some incredible people from the Paradise Peninsula. We've got James Bond, we've got Sandy Irvine. He was the first man to climb Everest. The list goes on. And I knew nothing about this. Put her in the Land Rover, took her to school, and she pulled it out the back, and it was me.
Oh, how cute is that?
Look at me. Yeah, no, but it's nice, like 7 years old.
Yeah, that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You can now drop her off at school, you can pick her up, you can do all these activities.
Yeah.
How important is that, Liam, that you've got the freedom and flexibility to do that?
It's great to have the freedom to do it, but there's also a balance in making sure that the hours are going into the business as well. It can't be freedom all the time.
Yep.
Obviously, like I'm going through the process now of that agent attraction and building kind of my pipeline of revenue share.
Yep.
I think that will give me more of the freedom. But I've got people who are at the end of the phone needing answers and are wanting to move home ultimately.
Right, okay. So, from everything we've discussed today, what are you most proud of? And it doesn't necessarily have to be, selling X amount of houses, whatever. What rings your bell?
I think something that stands out to me that I'm really proud of is I've been able to make this work. Like 5 years ago, Adam took I'd say a pun on me, really. I'd had some sort of property experience. I'm pretty sure you've all come across deal sources. They are a unique breed of, I would say, estate agent. That's what they are. They're a buying agent. But Adam took a pun on me. 5 years later, I'm still here. I'm working. I'm capping. I've built what I think a really good personal brand. I've got clients who are coming back to me, clients who are referring me, featuring in the press. There's so many different angles, to be honest, mate.
Well done. Just quickly, guys, then, what would you say is the biggest misconception that people have about coming into self-employed estate agency?
Is the community. A couple of people have already said that they don't realise. So they might be leaving a corporate, but they're coming into a community. But it's not a community that wants to do better than them. It's a community that wants to help them, wants to support, wants to elevate them. And we share our successes. It's fantastic. Whether that success is turning over 50k, capping, icon, we celebrate all of them. And it doesn't matter if you want to work part-time, if you've got caring responsibilities, whether it's children or elderly parents, or like me. Last month I had 6 hospital appointments. Nobody would employ me, would they? I mean, they just couldn't. It's like you don't want to. You couldn't be with Charlie if you were employed. So I think the misconception is that they're going to work on their own, and they're not. They're working for themselves, but not by themselves.
Thank you. Jack, what is the one piece of advice you wish someone had given you at the start?
Well, one piece of advice I was given when I gave self-employment a second go was not to be a secret agent. So like the first time round, I guess I didn't shout about it. I didn't tell everyone, probably through a little bit of fear that it might not work and then looking a bit of a tit. But so the second time round, I went out, just put a message out saying, friends, family, I'm looking for people to help. Told everyone in my contact book, and people wanted to help you. We all know that. People want to help you, and it's something I've realized again now is, what did I do at the beginning that I'm not doing now? And it's that. So I've started going back through my phone book and asking people and reminding them again, I do still want to help you. Like, yes, things are going well, but I would still love to help your friends and family.
Yeah, 100%. Fiona, what has been the hardest lesson learned in your career here with eXp thus far?
I think it's a lot of things, to be honest. But I think the biggest thing is not to give up and probably to ask for help, to speak to people and say, look, I'm struggling. And I don't think any of us are very good at that. And I think if we can just say, look, can you help me out here? And it could be with anything, absolutely anything. And just ask whoever's there. I think that's the biggest thing. It's asking for help.
Lean into the network.
Definitely lean into the network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found that really, really interesting. We've got some really honest and straightforward conversations here, which I was, really interested in hearing all your answers to this stuff. I think hopefully you'll take something away from that. Thank you.